Welcome back. We're going to take you on to the next segment of the show, which is today's topic. And it's about yesterday, Egypt and the African countries marking Africa Day. On this occasion, President Sisi congratulated all the African people to mark the day, and also spoke about unity and sort of cooperation between African nations for the better of the entire continent. Joining us right now over the phone to tell us more about the significance of this day and what to look for in the future when it comes to African nations, we're joined by Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former assistant to the foreign minister. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that Egypt will continue to work alongside the African countries to continue working on sustainable development. How can this be achieved, and is this inward look towards the continent something important?
I think that the Egyptian-African relations and those who are following it and trying to make it much better are lucky that we have President Sisi with all his power behind all these African initiatives coming from Egypt. That's after he was elected as a chairman of the African Union. And then a lot of initiatives came from Egypt, such as investing in Africa with money coming from rich countries with the Egyptian experience, such as establishing one big free trade area with all the African countries members in it. So many things. And I think that Africa appreciates very much that we come back again to what we call the presidential diplomacy.
Yes.
We were lacking the presence of our president 20 years before the revolution. That's why we were a little bit not concentrating on the African affairs. Now we are in full power, full speed, and I hope this, of course, will create a lot of interest to all the African countries.
Yes.
And a lot of benefits also for Egypt and the Egyptian people.
Yes. Sir, can you tell us your evaluation of Egypt's efforts to resolve issues and disputes within the African continent and trying to take a more significant role within the continent itself?
Yes, one of the initiatives of our president is to stop fighting, to throw the armaments and start a real dialogue among those who are in a problem between themselves. Africa is having a serious problem.
Yes.
Maybe as Egyptian we do not feel the size of it because we do not have tribes here in Egypt. If you are from Alexandria, I am from Aswan, then we are both Egyptians.
Yes.
This is not the case in Africa. They are divided in tribes and parties. So we are trying to make the feeling of the unity of the country ahead of any tribe's feeling or any party feeling. So we hope to succeed in this initiative. It's not easy at all. But I think that development can solve the problem. If you are rich enough and you have your means and ways to work and to earn your living, then you are not going to jeopardize all these things by fighting here and there. So development also is one answer for this question.
Yes.
And I think we are on the right track towards all these initiatives.
Yes, since we're talking about development in the African continent to combat these issues, what is the importance of completing the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area agreement to achieve economic and trade integration within the African continent itself? How is this important?
We tried this partially when we joined what we call the East and South African Free Trade Area, the COMESA.
Yes.
We found that our exports are increasing. So the idea immediately was to make one big free trade area with all the 50 some countries members in it, with the largest in number of any free trade area anywhere in the world. This is already on the track.
Yes.
It's on the way.
Yes.
This will make our trade much bigger. This will make the opportunities of investment much bigger. And this, of course, will be for the favor of all the people of Africa. This will be attraction for investment. This will be a way for our people to contact each other and to give our experience to all the African neighbors.
Yes. Do you think, sir, that this is a means by which the African continent can somehow generate or enhance industrial development rather than just be consumers and importers of final products and exporting just raw materials?
This is a very good answer to some very big problem in Africa.
Yes.
Why our trade is not increasing enough?
Yes.
Because we do not produce all what we need.
Yes.
So let us invest small and medium and small size industries in Africa. Food industry, canned food, slaughtering, agriculture, cultivating cereals and wheat,
Yes.
which we need tremendously. And with a small capital, we can start many opportunities of investment, and this will, of course, be in our favor, and this will increase the relations between the African countries and Egypt.
Yes. COMESA, as an organization is free of independent sovereign states that have agreed to cooperate in developing natural and human resources, like you were saying, Mr. Ambassador, that investments within the industry or developing industry is something important, but so is developing human resources. How can Egypt benefit from this, and how can they, also give forward their expertise within different fields and sectors to develop the human capital in the continent?
COMESA was a sort of encouragement because it created a stories of success. Also, our presence with the Egyptian Fund for Development in Africa,
Yes.
it was another small story of success. That's why we established now a big agency
Yes.
for partnership and development in Africa. And I hope we can find much more money to finance all these activities. Our experts are helping African countries everywhere,
Yes.
whether in the field of health, in the field of teaching, in the field of many things.
Yes.
And now, as you rightly said, it's a time to think about creating new industries to create something and products which we are in great need for it. This is the way we are saying that it will be a
Yes.
good solution and with good result. And we are on the track. But there are challenges, of course, because Africa is suffering from bad transport system.
Yes.
We do not have way transport, road transport, or airway traffic. We lack a good banking system.
Yes.
The bureaucracy in Africa is huge, and it stops any good effort to invest. So we are working on this, and it's not easy task, but I think we are up to it.
Yes. So, Mr. Ambassador, you spoke about two very important points here. One of them is the healthcare sector itself. The first edition of the Africa Health ExCon is to kick off here in Egypt on the 5th of June, and the point of it is to invest in the health sector, like you were saying. What kind of investments should we expect, and how will they tackle this issue within the conference that's going to take place in its first edition?
We are waiting for all sort of investment.
Yes.
We are not in a position to choose what to invest because the investor has much more experience than we have.
Yes.
So we can come to give us the experience,
Yes.
to give us the knowledge, and to start wherever he wants. And our task is to make his life easier in order to produce more and to give us what we need,
Yes.
give us what we need to export, give job opportunities for our young generation, And so this is the right way in order to deepen and widen our relations.
Yes. The other point, sir, that you spoke about was the transportation or the networks of roads and railways within the African continent itself are not quite up to standard. But there were plans in the past to link African countries with a railway system. Is this still something that's on the table?
It is on the table, but it is a sort of very difficult dream. Let us start by autostrad from Alexandria till Johannesburg. Let us link Egypt with Sudan with railways, because both of us, we have railways.
Yes.
But it is not a joke that the railways in Egypt, it's different from the railways in Sudan.
Yes.
And for my wonder, the establisher of the two railways was Britain. So they make a point to make it different, so not to complement each other. But we can, of course, overcome this problem.
Yes.
We want the ports in Africa to be better, to receive our ships. We want the airports to receive every single flight from anywhere.
Yes.
I am not happy that Egypt Air, for instance, is not covering all the capitals of Africa. If I want to travel fast to any capital in Africa, I have to go to Europe, then I go back to Africa, and this costs a lot.
Yes, it does.
All these things are open for our efforts in order to make transport and traffic in Africa much better.
Yes, to a better future in Africa. Sir, can you tell us a bit about Egypt also hosting the 8th edition of the African Women's Innovation Entrepreneurship Forum in September? It's going to host in September this forum. How is this important? I mean, one of the hot topics in Egypt right now, or for this year, was empowering women in general or the Egyptian woman. Now Egypt's focus is also on the African woman. Why is this important?
I think that we are here in a very nice and easy task. Because if you want to see really how the women are doing very good business, it is in Africa.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, in the field of farming, the women are working, the men are not working there. It is the work of the ladies. And it's well known that the ladies are farming, the men are not.
Yes.
So this one example how the women rights is already implemented in some sectors in Africa. If we can enlarge this and we can copy this sort of experience,
Yes.
teach it to others, exchange experience here and there, then we are on the right track. I don't think that we have a problem concerning the empowering of women in Africa.
Yes. Sir, what about Egyptian exports? Is this a good market for Egypt to export its products at the African continent? Because usually our partners would not have been traditionally in the past, before these different changes, would usually have been European countries and so forth. But with a focus on Africa, is this a good market economically speaking?
It is a good market. It needs everything because they do not produce a lot. And I tried myself to export to Africa. I have many stories of success.
Yes.
And now, after we joined the COMESA, our exports to Africa is increased by 3 times.
Yes.
And the trade balance is making surplus for our favor. This is good news. So let us continue. Let us complete this by our efforts in order to invest and establish new industries there with our experience. This will be a huge story of success, and we can continue at this direction.
Yes, hopefully for a better future for the entire continent. Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, a former assistant to the foreign minister, thank you so much for shedding light on this important subject. But unfortunately, we're out of time for this episode of Cairo Local Time. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more on Nile TV.